just did turn that on. That's amazing.
You're in my video and you're talking.
We haven't started yet, honey.
I have started mine.
Do you want me to turn this on?
Yeah, yeah.
Or I'll leave, Ashley. So.
No.
Okay. You're amazing. All right, do it.
Thank you.
Dye your hair.
Hi again, everybody. Veronica here with your dose of virtual yoga. We have spent some time today trying to set things up and trying to film on GoPros, and it didn't work. So we're trying it again, and we'll see how it comes out. But in the meantime, I'm filming on my phone again, and that came out pretty good. So we will see. But anyway, thank you for joining me today. We all need to take some deep breaths, so let's start there. Just inhale deeply, and yeah, close your eyes if you like, or you can keep your eyes softly gazing to the front of your mat. Just arriving into your time that you're going to carve out for yourself, hopefully on a daily basis, to help you feel better, calmer amidst everything that's going on. So take some deep breaths. Letting your chest rise as you inhale, lungs inflating. As you exhale, grounding through your sitting bones. Couple more deep breaths here. Arriving onto your mat to practice. Connecting with your breath as we do in yoga. Bringing ourselves back to the present moment. It's so easy for us to go off and let our minds just take control and make ourselves a little bit nutty. So just breathe. And then take your hands to your heart center, and you can form an intention for your practice now. What is that? Some people might think, what is this forming an intention for your practice? So if you've come to yoga before, if you've done yoga classes, you might hear the teacher saying, set your intention. And this just really means, what do you want to dedicate your practice to that day? So it might just be your sanity. It might just be you turning off your mind for about an hour or so. And maybe it's even somebody that is out there, a family member, a loved one, or maybe you're just holding in your heart all these people that are suffering much worse than we are from this COVID-19 disease, and just really praying and hoping that we can get a handle on this. But we can only control how we react, so go ahead and think about an intention for your practice. And then you can release your hands back down to your lap. Take a few more breaths here. Everything is going to be okay, hopefully. Just have faith. Take the necessary precautions. Keep washing your hands and keep breathing. Open your eyes if you have them closed. And let's transition and do a few stretches to begin with. Let's come into a child's pose. So let your knees open pretty wide as your mat. Let your big toes connect behind you. Rock back and sit all the way back onto your heels with your sitting bones. And then let your forehead just come down to your mat. Feel free to gently rock your head from one side to the other. Feels pretty good. Massaging your forehead out on the mat. Take your hands to any position of comfort. Maybe you want to reach your hands straight back behind you with your palms facing the ceiling. Or maybe you like reaching your hands forward, coming up onto tented fingers so that you're extending your arms off of your mat, opening up into your upper back and shoulders. If you'd like to take Anjali Mudra, join your hands together, crawl your elbows forward, framing your temples, and then take your thumbs to touch the back of your neck. This feels really good too, to open up the upper back. And then let your arms come down in front of you from wherever they were. Walk your hands off your mat all the way to the right side, so your left hand can rest right next to your right hand. Some people like to put it on top of their right hand. Just do what's comfortable for you and your shoulder. Take a deep breath into your left side body and a long breath out, grounding down onto your left heel especially. Take another deep breath, and you might feel this breath all the way from the tip of your left pinky finger, running all the way up your arm, your elbow, your shoulder, your left ribs, all the way to your left hip point. Exhale, walk yourself back through center, and let's try that over to the other side. So sweeping the arms across, right hand can rest right next to your left hand. You can take a deep breath into the right side body, and exhale, feel heavy onto your heels. Take another deep breath in, feeling that stretch on the whole right side of the body. And then as you exhale, just walk your hands back to center. Walk yourself back up from your child's pose. If you have a block, you can kneel on a block to support you a little bit. And you can start to stretch out into your hands. So laying them flat in front of you, start pulling the mat towards you. You're bending your fingers, kind of like you're massaging your mat, just starting to get the knuckles awakened. And then you can start rolling over your fingers. You might hear a little crack, crack, crack. That's what I just did. Just being gentle and rolling. Rolling over the fingers, bending your wrists in the opposite direction. Stretching out your forearm muscles. And then maybe coming up a little higher off of your block. Maybe you're kneeling and just taking a few little gentle circles over the hands. And go the other way. Just warming up with not too much pressure. Spread your fingers nice and wide. And then you can move this block out of the way. Let's come to a tabletop shape. So hands can be right underneath your shoulders. Shoulders can be over the hands. Hands are shoulder width apart. And then the knees are hip width apart. And we'll start undulating our spine in two directions with cow pose and cat pose. So for cow pose, let your belly sway down towards the mat. Lift your tailbone up, lift your gaze, inhale. And then as you exhale, round your back the other direction. Coil in, press your navel to your spine, press your hands into the earth. Separate your shoulder blades, dome your upper back toward the ceiling. Try that again. Inhale, breath to sway your belly towards the mat. Lift your tailbone, lift your gaze up. Inhale, stretch the front body. And then exhale, coiling in. Navel towards your spine. Hands pressed down into the earth. Separating your shoulder blades. Chin stays tucked. Cat pose. Inhale, sway. And then exhale to round. Couple more rounds. Inhale, sway the belly towards the mat. And then exhale to round your spine the other direction. Do this on your own breath and timing. Few rounds, lubricating your spine, bending it 2 ways. And then you can also start to move any way you like on your mat. Maybe you're going to make some circles, big circles with the hips, coming forward and side and back and side. And then maybe reversing the circle so you can do it on the other side as well. So whatever movements you're deciding to take on your mat to warm up, make sure that you do them to both sides. And you can stretch any way you like. And you can stay in any posture as long as you like, if it feels good. And then walk yourself back up to your tabletop shape. We're going to tuck our toes under and press up into a downward facing dog. So as you inhale, hover your knees 2 or 3 inches off the mat. As you exhale, send your hips back towards your heels, pressing away from your hands and sending your sitting bones back towards your heels. And you can bend your knees as much as is necessary. And you can walk out this downward facing dog. You can bend into one knee and then bend into the other knee, just kind of walking it out, stretching out the muscles of your lower legs, your calves, and the arches of your feet and the toes. And you can feel free to sway on the balls of your feet and bend into the hips. Bend into the knees, swaying the hips to one side. Anything to warm up your downward dog. And if your heels are not immediately grounding, that's okay. Just let them feel heavy towards the earth. Again, spread your fingers nice and wide. Press away from your hands. Lengthen your spine. Tailbone to crown. Go ahead and shake out your head. Yes and no. Loose neck. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Rise up on your tippy toes. And then exhale, reground the heels. Do that again. Inhale, rising. Exhale, grounding. One more time. Inhale, rise up. And then exhale, ground the heels. Walk slowly forward towards your hands. And you can separate your feet hip width apart. Come into a forward fold. Bend your knees as much as you want to. Release your hands down. If you'd like, you can clasp opposite elbows. And you can sway gently from side to side. Just releasing your lower back and letting the blood run down to your head. Relax your facial muscles, your jaw, your tongue. And then exhale, come to center, release everything to the mat like a rag doll. Press into your feet and slowly start to rise up one vertebrae at a time. Like you're stacking the little bones in your back all on top of each other to make a tower. And then let your head and chin come up last. Okay, I'm going to move back a little bit. I don't think my camera is getting me. Let's take a sweeping breath in and up. Inhale. And then exhale to fold over the legs. Take a halfway lift here. Inhale. Lengthen the spine and look forward. Either fingertips on the earth or your hands can come to your shins. Inhale, press into the shins. Lengthen your spine. And then exhale, release and fold. Let's rise up a little bit quicker now. Inhale, sweep the arms out wide. Reaching up. And then exhale them down in front of the heart. Do a few sun salutations to wake up the body. So inhale, reaching up. Exhale, diving down. Inhale, take your halfway lift. Lengthen your spine, look forward, flat back. And then exhale to release and fold. We'll step back into our downward facing dog. I'm going to step forward because I was already back on my mat. And press away from your hands. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, breath. And exhale completely. Let's try that again. Walking forward towards your hands. I'm going to step back so that you can see me. And then rise up, inhaling, sweeping the arms out wide, connecting your palms together, and then bringing them down in front of your heart in Anjali Mudra. This is a mudra, hand gesture of reverence and respect. And then close your eyes here for a moment, ground into your feet, maybe lifting the toes, spreading them, and then re-grounding the toes down. Feeling really solid in your stance here, in your mountain pose. This is Tadasana. And then reflect upon your intention that you set a few minutes ago. You feel your heart over your hips, over your knees, over your feet, and your feet really grounding down as if you were shooting some roots down through your feet and connecting you into the earth. And then open your eyes. Release the hands. Inhale, breath. Exhale to fold, diving down. Inhale, taking a halfway lift, lengthen the spine, look forward. And then exhale to release and fold. You're going to step back to your downward facing dog. I'm going to move forward into my downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Long exhale. Inhale. And exhale, letting out any tension. Take one more deep breath. And exhale completely. Bring the feet together to touch. Now as you inhale, raise your right leg up towards the sky. Bend your knee. And then stack your hips to open to the right side. So you're pointing your right knee up towards the ceiling. But be careful not to spill over to one side with your shoulders. Try to keep your shoulders nice and level, even though your lower body is twisting. And then start to come into some circles of the knee. So you're awakening the hip socket. And go in the other direction, maybe 2 or 3 circles in each direction. And then as you inhale, re-extend your leg up to the sky. Re-square your hips, so spin your inner thigh inwards, toes pointing down. Inhale here in your 3-legged dog. And then as you exhale, bend your knee and step the foot forward between the hands. Keep your left hand on the ground, or if you want to bring the ground up a little bit higher, you can use a block or a book. And then inhale, take the right arm up towards the sky, opening up for a twist. Take a deep breath in, maybe dropping the back of your hand back behind you to open through the chest. And then exhale, bringing that hand back down to frame your front foot. If you use the block, you can move it out of the way. And then step back to your downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and a long exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more deep breath, really breathing in to puff up your back body. And then as you exhale, melting the heart down towards your mat. Bringing the feet together to touch behind you. As you inhale, lift your left leg up toward the sky, bend your knee, and then stack your hips. Left hip stacks on top of right hip. Again, remember the shoulders, so don't tip over to one side, but instead keep it nice and level. And then start to make some circles with this knee. Just lubricating that hip joint. And go the other direction. And then inhale, re-extend your leg up high, re-square your hips, toes point down. Inhale in 3-legged dog. Exhale, bend your knee, bring your foot forward between your hands. You can keep your right hand on the earth, or again, if you want, you can rest it on a support, a block or a big book. And then inhale, take that left arm up towards the ceiling. Opening up through the heart, taking a deep breath in this twist. Maybe that hand falls back a little bit. Inhale. And then exhale, let that hand come back down to the outside of your left foot. If you use the block, you can move it out of the way. Frame your front foot with both hands. And then step back to your plank pose. From your plank pose, keep your belly nice and firm. One long straight line from the shoulders to the heels. And then press through the toes to come forward, shoulders over the hands. And then you're going to lower down to the mat. So you can bend your knees, bend your elbows straight back, hugging into the rib cage. Land your chest and chin, slither forward. Inhale, lift your head and shoulders up. Roll your shoulders back, open through the heart, cobra pose. And then exhale back home, downward facing dog. So you can come up through your tabletop posture. Tuck your toes, lift your knees, lift your hips. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog in the Sanskrit language, pretty long word. Reaching your hips nice and high, inhaling. And exhaling, releasing any tension in the head and neck. Breathing in, breathing out. Take one more breath here. Really fill up your back body. Make your back body feel wider. And then exhale completely. Bring your feet together to touch. As you inhale, raise your right leg up towards the sky. As you exhale, bend your knee, bring it forward towards your nose. Get on the ball of your back foot. Come forward, shoulders over the hands. And then squeeze your heel up towards your glutes. Inhale. As you exhale, send that leg straight back up to that three-legged dog. Let's try that again. Inhale, bring that knee forward towards your forehead. Get on the ball of the back foot, round your spine. Exhale, send that leg straight back up to the sky. Inhale here. And then exhale, step that foot through between your hands. You're going to lower your back knee down to the ground. If you'd like some padding, you can take a blanket or a towel, or sometimes I just fold my mat over like a little hot dog bun like that for a little bit of additional padding. Now make sure, we're in a low lunge here, Anjaneyasana. Make sure your knee is tracking right over your right ankle. So if you have your knee way forward in front of your toes, come back so that that knee is directly above your ankle, so you don't hurt your knee joint. And then inhale, take your arms to reach all the way up above your head. Take your gaze up towards your hands. Reach your thumbs back behind you a little bit. Open through the heart. Inhale, breath. And then exhale, take your hands to the mat. We're going to rock back into a half split pose. So just rock your weight back towards your left heel. You can come onto the heel of your front foot, and you can flex your toes back toward your head, stretching down and folding over your front leg, any amount. So again, if you have blocks, you can also rest your hands on a couple of blocks on either side of your front leg if you like, or fingertips, whatever works. And feeling the stretch on the back of your right leg. Take another breath here in your fold. And exhale, coming back into your low lunge shape, Anjaneyasana. Frame your front foot, step onto the ball of your back foot, lift your knee off the earth, step your right foot back to meet your left plank pose. As you inhale, press forward through the toes. As you exhale, we can take our connecting flow here. So we can lower knees down, chest and chin down. If you've been doing yoga a while, you can lower through chaturanga, which is this low push-up. So you're bending your elbows at 90 degrees and hovering, building strength in the arms. Lowering down. Inhale for your cobra pose. So cobra pose is the most basic belly back bend. There are others. If you're new to yoga, you can stay with cobra. And then exhale, you can come up through table, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and exhale completely. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath here, lengthening your spine. And exhale completely. Bring the feet together to touch. As you inhale, sweep your left leg up to the sky. We're going to bend that knee, bring it forward towards your nose. Squeeze your heel up towards your glute. You're on the ball of your back foot, shoulders over the hands, round your back. Exhale, send your leg back up to the sky. Try that again. Inhale, breath. Bring that knee forward, round your back like cat. Exhale to stretch that leg back up. Inhale in your three-legged dog. And then exhale, step your foot through between your hands. So we're going to lower that back knee down, padding if you want to. Making sure the knee is above the ankle. Coming up to your low lunge posture, reaching the arms up, Anjaneyasana, reaching up, looking up. Inhale, breath. Open through the heart. And then exhale, hands touch down. We're going to rock back to that half split pose, stretching out the hamstring of the front leg. You can come up onto the heel of your front foot and flex the toes back toward your head and then fold over any amount. Breathing here in your Hanumanasana. Hanuman was the monkey god in Indian philosophy, so this is pose of the monkey god, half split pose. As you inhale, come back up, bend back into your low lunge, frame your front foot, tuck your back toes under, lift your knee off the earth, step back, plank pose. As you inhale in your plank, press forward through the toes, and then you can come down any way you like, knees, chest, chin, or through that chaturanga, bending elbows to 90 degrees and hovering, building strength. If you want a different back bend, you might try upward facing dog instead of cobra. So in upward facing dog, the arms are extended, shoulders over the hands, you're on the tops of your feet, and your hips are hovering off the earth. Inhale, breath. Exhale, lift the hips, untuck the toes, downward facing dog. Deep breath in, long breath out. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, breath. And exhale completely. Bring your feet together to touch. Inhale your right leg up to the sky. Opportunity to bend your knee and stack the hips if you like that hip opening. Inhale, re-extending the leg, re-squaring the hips. And then exhale, bend your knee and step your foot forward between your hands for warrior one. So we're going to ground the back heel, turn the back toes out 45 degrees, kind of like to the top left corner of your mat. And then inhale to rise up. Put your hands on your hips for a moment, and you can kind of check out the hips being square, pointing to the front of the room. And then from there, you're going to wait for me to take off my top because I'm getting hot here with this little heater that I have right next to me. Earlier on, it was kind of cold down here in my basement. Okay, so here we are in warrior one, knee over the ankle. Inhale the arms up. I'm gonna step back a little bit. I don't know if you can fully see me. Okay, warrior one. Inhale the arms up. As you exhale, we're gonna bend our elbows out to the sides, take it to cactus or goalpost arms. As we inhale, we're gonna take the backs of the hands and the elbows back a little bit behind us to spread out through the front body. And then as you exhale, making fists, bringing fists together in front of you, elbows touch, fists touch. Try that again. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, the arms to cactus. Inhale, hands and elbows reach back. And then exhale, make fists, bring fists and elbows together. One more time. Inhale, breath, reaching up. Exhale, hands go to cactus. Inhale, open through the heart, reaching the hands back, elbows back, and then make fists, elbows, and fists come together. Exhale. From here, we're going to step into our warrior three. So just take your hands down. You're going to take your weight into the standing leg, and then you're going to float that back foot off the ground and rotate this thigh in. You're standing on that front foot, solidly feeling the big toe side edge grounding down. So here's your warrior three balance. You might change your arm positions, maybe coming into Anjali Mudra. Hands in front of the heart. Or you might extend the arms straight in front of you. And then turning this into a standing split, take your hands down to the mat, lift that leg up a little bit higher, the raised leg behind you. You're keeping your hips square, so keep trying to turn that inner thigh inward. Don't let the foot turn out. So for this half split pose, you might take your balance to one hand, maybe reaching one arm behind your calf. Maybe you play with balancing completely just on your right foot. Maybe not. Try it just for fun. Okay, and then land the hands, land back into your warrior one. Inhale, breath. Exhale, hands down to the mat, stepping back to your plank pose. Inhale in plank. Exhale your connecting flow. So you lower, exhaling. Inhale, I'm going to do upward facing dog, but you can choose if you want cobra instead. And exhale, coming back, downward facing dog. Let's take 3 breaths here. So inhale through the nose. Feel free to part the lips and exhale through the mouth. Letting it go. Deep breath in and exhale. One more deep breath and exhale completely. Bringing the feet together to touch. As you inhale, left leg paints the sky. Opportunity to bend that knee and stack if that feels good. Inhale to re-extend the leg, re-square the hips. And then exhale, stepping forward for warrior one. So grounding your back heel, turning the back toes out 45 degrees. Inhale, rise up to your warrior one. Hands on hips, can perform that little hip check. Are my hips in line? Encourage that left hip back, right hip forward. Inhale, take the arms up. Remember that breathing that we just did 3 times. So exhale for cactus. Inhale, hands and elbows reach back, spread out across the collarbones. And then exhale, bring the fists and elbows together. Twice more like that. Inhale, breath, you reach. Exhale, coming into these goalpost arms. Inhale, reach the hands and elbows back. And then exhale, close everything up in front of you, fists to the elbows. Try that again. Inhale, breath, reach up. Exhale, hands come down over the elbows, cactus shape. Inhale, hands and elbows reach back. Exhale, bring your hands, fists together, elbows together. And then taking it to warrior three, we're going to swoop the hands down, take the weight into the standing left leg, reach the arms back, and then keep spinning that right leg inward like pigeon-toed foot. Stay nice and square. Keep a gaze point steady, something that's not moving so you can balance. Maybe changing the arm positions to Anjali Mudra. And maybe reaching straight forward. Whoa. Traditional warrior three. And then taking a dive down for your standing split pose. Take your hands down to the earth. You're now standing on that left leg. Right leg is spinning inward so that you're kind of reaching the hamstring, back of your right leg up toward the ceiling for a standing split posture. So you can play with your balance here and standing split. Maybe you just do it with one arm wrapping behind your calf. Maybe you're doing it with one finger on the ground. Maybe no fingers on the ground. And then take the hands in front of you, and we're going to land back into our warrior one. Inhale, breath like nothing just happened. Exhale, take your hands down to the mat, stepping back to your plank pose. As you inhale, you come forward. As you exhale, you flow. Inhale, finding a back bend that you like, cobra or upward dog. And then let's go to child's pose. So open the knees out wide, resting down. And let yourself just take a couple of breaths here in your child's pose. Deep breaths. One more breath. And then go ahead and walk yourself up. Bring your knees underneath your hips as in tabletop shape. And we're going to come down to extended puppy dog pose. So keeping the hips right where they are over your knees, you're going to walk your hands forward as much as you can. And maybe your forehead comes down to the mat. So you're opening up into the upper back. You can separate the hands apart so that you don't pinch your shoulders. Some people's chins come to the earth. And some people their chest. Do what's comfortable for you. So head, chin, or chest for your extended puppy dog pose. And then you're going to just slither forward for another back bend. You can rest onto your forearms. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Come down onto your stomach. Make sure that your elbows are right underneath your shoulders. Your fingers are spread. Your forearms are parallel to each other. And you're on the tops of your feet. Legs are stretched back behind you. So this is Sphinx pose. Here's another opportunity for a back bend. So as you learn different back bends, you can apply them to your practice. So every time you flow through a vinyasa, you have a choice. And you don't have to always do cobra. You can do upward facing dog. You can do Sphinx. We'll learn a couple more right now. So a couple other belly back bends. Come on down. Oh, and also in your Sphinx, just give you a couple more cues as to how you should feel. Zip your belly button in and up so you're protecting your lower back. Pull with your fingers so you feel like you're sliding between the gates of your biceps, and extend through the crown of the head so that you're lengthening your neck. Imagine you're a Sphinx regally occupying the top of a pyramid. And then go ahead and lower yourself down. You can make a little pillow with your hands to rest your head on. So we're going to come into locust pose. It's also known as Shalabhasana in the yoga language. And so for locust, you're going to take your arms, reach them straight back towards your feet with your palms facing up, facing the ceiling. And then as you inhale, pick up your head and shoulders, pick your hands up toward the ceiling, and then float your feet up off of your mat. So you're balancing only on your belly. Feel like somebody's stretching you from the front and from the back. And breathe. Keep breathing, maybe raising up a little bit higher. And then exhale, release. Turn your face to one side. Feel free to wobble out the hips or bend your knees, and you can windshield wiper your feet from one side to the other. So we'll do another round of locust pose. This time we're going to interlace our hands and form a little temple mudra. So let your index fingers extend, cross your thumbs, palms can touch. So it looks kind of like that, but you're going to grab that behind your back. So take your hands and interlace them behind your back right at your sacrum. And then as you inhale, lift your head and shoulders, and then start to straighten your arms as your shoulders come up. So you're pointing those index fingers straight down your tailbone, and then lift your feet up off the earth. So this is like a little bound locust. So it's Shalabhasana with a little bind of the arms behind you. If you don't like the bind, you can always do a regular locust pose like the first one we did. Come up a little bit higher. And then exhale, release the hands, turn your face to the other side. Wiggle out the hips or windshield wiper the legs. Okay, one more. This is bow pose. So this one you're going to be balancing on your belly and you're going to be grabbing your feet. So this is a nice belly back bend. Hands go straight back behind you. Bend both of your legs so your feet are coming up towards the ceiling. Reach back to grab your feet. And then inhale, press your feet into the hands to rise up. Press your feet up towards the ceiling. Keep your knees kind of in the same neighborhood. Keep breathing. And then exhale, slowly come down. Slowly release the legs. Wiggle out the hips if you like. Or windshield wiper the legs from side to side. And then from here, we're going to press up into a kneeling position. And I'd like to offer you a rabbit pose. So this is going to feel pretty good on your back. It's a compression posture. And I'll show it to you this way. At first, it's gonna look like you're sitting, grabbing your bottom, but you're really gonna be grabbing the heels, but not yet. So right now, just sit on your hands. And the way you're gonna start this is you're gonna tuck your chin in towards your chest, start to roll your head down. It's like you're massaging your thyroid. So you're gonna tuck the chin in, slowly bring the belly button in toward your spine, rounding as you come down, and then landing the top of your head right in front of your knees. Then you're going to lift your hips up. That's when you're going to grab your heels securely and then start to lift your hips higher. I actually don't have any weight on my head. My head is floating. So I'm doing this by pulling on my heels. This is rabbit pose, and I'm really rounding my back as much as I can. It should feel good, stretching your whole back body. And then to return, come back down. Release the hands. And round your head up last. This is the second time I've done this today. And I've gotten a little cramp in my abdominals because it's kind of like a crunch, right? So, if you get a cramp, stretch it in the other direction. See what just really, yeah, boy, that really grabbed on. Okay, so that's rabbit pose. So let's meet in downward facing dog, and we'll do another little flow with the legs, a couple other postures. Spread your hands out, and then go ahead and step back into your downward facing dog. Deep breath, stretching your spine, reaching your hips nice and high and back towards your heels. And remember, if your hamstrings are tight, you can bend your knees. It's not a problem. And then go ahead and bring your feet together to touch. As you inhale, sweep that right leg up high to the sky. Bend your knee and bring it forward towards your nose. Get your shoulders over your hands. Get on the ball of the back foot. Hover. And then exhale, regrow that leg back up to the sky. Three-legged dog. This time we're going to come to the outside of our right arm, tricep, elbow, and tap it with our knee. So bring your knee forward and out to the side. Shoulders over the hands. Knee taps your upper arm or elbow. Extend your leg back up to the sky. This time we're going to tap the opposite arm, so you have to twist underneath you. Inhale, bring your knee forward towards your nose, and then twist under your core, tap your elbow or tricep, and then extend your leg back up to the sky. Inhale, breath in three-legged dog. And then exhale, stepping forward for warrior two. So you're going to spin on the ball of the back foot to completely ground the back foot. Inhale, cartwheel the arms open, reaching front to back. Making sure that your knee is right over your ankle and that it's not coming in like this. So coasting that knee out towards the pinky toe side edge of the foot. It's actually going to come right over that second toe. So the arms are in a T, back arm extends back, front arm extends forward. So we're opening through the hips now, and the hips are right in the middle of both legs. So you can check out your stance by looking down at your feet. You should be able to draw an imaginary line from the heel of your front foot that would intersect the arch of your back foot. So move your foot accordingly if you need to. All right, from your warrior two, we're going to extend and reach forward with the hand, and then flip the palm over, reach it up and back and reverse our warrior. Some people call this peaceful warrior. So your left hand can rest gently on your back leg, stretching this whole side of the body here, looking up, and then exhale, coming back to your warrior two. Let's go to a side angle posture. From here, you can bend your front arm, land it gently on your front leg, and then take your left arm and reach it up and over the ear, palm facing the ground. And then take a peekaboo underneath that left arm toward the ceiling. Deep breath in. And then as you exhale, rise back up to warrior two and begin to straighten out that front leg. We're going to go into triangle posture here, Trikonasana. Reaching forward again with that right arm, and then letting the right arm drop down to your right shin, lifting your left arm up toward the ceiling. And if you're flexible and you want, you can also rest your hand on the outside of your leg. And if you need a little bit more reach and you have your block on any setting, your hand can come and rest on a block, reaching the arms straight up above the head. So any variation that's comfortable and feels appropriate for you. And then from this triangle, you're going to come back up. You can move your block out of the way. And then you're just going to shift your left foot to a warrior one foot. So just turn your toes in a little bit. And you're going to face the front leg, which is straight. So the hips are square, facing the front leg. Toes of the front leg are forward. Back heel is grounded, toes slightly turned out like warrior one. And you can either grab your elbows behind you, grab opposite elbows, or you can come into a reverse namaste. If you can touch your fingertips together behind you in prayer, just kind of sliding the hands up between your shoulder blades, and then you're going to take a forward fold, flat back over this leg for pyramid pose. And fold over any amount. Hands can be either way. And then come back up. So now you're going to spin on the ball of the back foot, release your hands, bend into a lunge, place your hands down on the earth, step back to a plank pose. Inhale in plank. Your connecting flow here. And now remember, you just learned 5 different belly back bends, so you can choose to not only do Cobra, Sphinx, Shalabhasana locust pose, bow pose, lots of opportunities, upward facing dog, taking your choice, and then eventually exhaling, making your way back home, downward facing dog. Deep breath in, and a long breath out. Inhale, and exhale. One more deep breath. And exhale completely. Bring your feet together to touch. As you inhale, sweep your left leg high to the sky, bending your knee and bringing it forward towards your nose. Remember this one on the ball of the back foot, round your back. Exhale, send your leg back up to three-legged dog. We're going to tap the left outer tricep this time. So bring that knee forward and out to the side, shoulders over the hands. Tap the elbow or tricep. Regrow your leg back up to the sky. Now we're going to the other arm, so bring that forward under your core, twist and tap the upper arm or elbow, extend the leg straight back up to the sky, take a breath in. As you exhale, step forward for warrior two. Spin on the ball of the back foot to ground that whole foot down. And then inhale, rising up, reaching front to back. So remember to check your stance. Remember to make sure that your left knee is right over the left ankle and it's not falling in, it's coasting towards the outside edge of that front foot. The back foot is planted, pinky toe side edge is parallel to the back edge of your mat, and you can kind of draw that imaginary line from the heel of the front foot intersecting the arch of the back foot. So open hips, reaching front to back. Extend your reach forward, flip your palm, bring it up and back for peaceful warrior. Stretching the whole length of that left side body as you're looking up. So your right hand can rest on your back leg, or if you like to wrap, you can wrap it behind your waist. As you exhale, unfurl back to your warrior two. Side angle posture, bending that left elbow, resting it gently on the front leg, and then taking that right arm up and over the ear, palm facing the ground. And then take that little turn to look up underneath that right arm. Deep breath in. And then as you exhale, come back up. Straighten out that front leg for triangle. Reaching forward as far as you can, getting a lot of stretch under this arm, and then letting your left hand land either on your shin or on a block on the outside of your leg, or fingertips to the earth, reaching the right arm up, turning your gaze up to the elevated hand. Deep breath in your triangle. And then bringing that triangle all the way up using your core, we're going to switch to that warrior one foot, so that you're going to just turn the right toes up toward the right corner of your mat. Front leg is still straight. You can keep a little micro bend, doesn't have to be locked out. Toes are facing forward. So remember, you can either grab reverse namaste behind your back if you have that ability, or you can interlace and grabbing your elbows behind you. So we're going to stretch to Parsvottanasana. No, Parsvottanasana, we just did a side angle. This is pyramid pose, intense side stretch. So coming forward and just folding flat. And you can stay there, folding over any amount that feels good for you in your left hamstring. In pyramid pose. And then you're going to come back up with a flat back, bend into that front knee, release the arms to the mat, swivel on the ball of the back foot to turn that into a lunge, and then step back to your plank pose. Inhale in your plank, look forward. You're connecting vinyasa here. Exhaling on your way down. Inhaling, you choose your back bend. I'm going to choose a bow, but you can choose any of the back bends that we just did. Keep breathing. Exhale. Let's come back to a child's pose. Take a break. Few breaths here in your child's pose. Take your arms in any position that feels good for you. And then release your hands down to the mat and gently walk yourself up. Okay, so we're going to come to a standing balance posture. If you have a strap or a belt, you can use that. We're going to come to standing, and you can take, this is going to be Asa Palangustasana A and B, so it's hand to big toe pose. So if you can actually reach your toe, you can do this holding on to your big toe with your peace fingers and your thumb around your big toe. Okay? And the strap is here for you if we're not reaching our big toe today, and we're just going to utilize the strap. So taking our weight onto that left foot, just bringing that right knee up. Inhale, bring your knee up, and then go ahead and stand on the strap with the ball of your foot. And then begin to straighten that foot out in front of you, and it can be anywhere. It can be here, it can be wherever it feels right for you. So keep a gaze towards the front, maybe 8 or 10 feet in front of you, so that you're balancing and really sending roots down through that left foot to hold you up. Okay, for the next phase, Palangustasana B, you're going to take your strap to your right hand, left hand's going to your left hip, and then begin to open this leg out to the side. My foot is out of the frame, I can see it, but you know what I mean. So you're balancing here with the leg out to the side. And then if you want an extra balance challenge, you can turn your head to the opposite side of the leg. And then turn your head back, bring the foot back, unthread the foot from the strap, and shake it out. And let that go. So we'll try the other side. I'm going to stand a little bit off to the side so maybe my foot doesn't go out of the picture. We'll see. And then again, if you have your strap here, take your weight to your right foot. Inhale, bring that left knee up and stand on your strap, holding it securely so it's under the ball of your foot. So keep looking at a steady point that's not moving around, and then begin to straighten that leg. So whenever you're ready, anywhere that it is for you to be straight, it could be here, it could be here, whatever. And then once you're ready, you can take your strap to your left hand, take your right hand to your right hip, and then begin to open your left leg to the left side. So toes are pointing up toward the ceiling. Steady gaze point, steady breathing. And then if you want to try to turn your head in the direction of your arm that's on your hip. So to the right, opposite where your leg is. And if you did that, you can bring your head back to the front and then bring your foot back to the front. And then release your foot, release the strap, shake it out. Let's come down to the floor. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of core with boat pose, Navasana, as it's called. And I can show it to you sideways if you like. So you can place your hands right behind your sitting bones, sit up nice and tall, and then inhale, roll back a little bit, pick your toes up off of the floor, and then you can balance on your sitting bones, reaching the arms forward. Keep sitting up nice and tall. And you might raise one leg a little bit higher. You can try that to the other side. Maybe you're going to raise both shins so that they're parallel to your mat. At any time, if you need support, you can place your hands back here on the back of your thighs. Keep your belly button nice and tight in towards your spine. Keep breathing. Keep sitting up nice and tall. Maybe you straighten out your legs. And then bring them in. Give yourself a hug. Okay. So we're going to, let's finish off in Shavasana. So it's almost been about an hour now. So Shavasana, your final resting posture. Just go ahead and I'm going to turn my mat a little bit off this way. And then for Shavasana, you just want to lie straight back. Let the feet open nice and wide. Let your toes fall open. Take up a lot of space. Get nice and comfortable if you need to put on some layers or cover up with a blanket. And then just very gently releasing any tension. Relaxing, closing the eyes. And breathing deeply into your body. And feeling the whole back body onto the mat. And the world, the earth supporting you. Deep breaths. And you can stay in Shavasana as long as you like. Just like you can pause this tape anytime and come back to it. And when you're ready to come out of Shavasana, you do so nice and gently, maybe curling your fingers in towards your palms to just feel some movement again. Wiggling your toes, spreading your toes, circling the ankles. Maybe even reaching straight past the crown of your head for a nice long stretch, like you're reawakening. And then gently and lovingly bringing one knee up and then the other in towards your heart. And just rocking from side to side, massaging your lower back. And then when you're ready, you can turn over onto one side, kind of in the fetal position. And take your time, you can pause there. Take a deep breath, and then start to come up, helping yourself with your arms. Coming back to a seated posture. And then we'll meet with our hands in front of our heart in Anjali Mudra. Your eyes can be closed. And just notice how you feel now, the effects of your practice. Taking one breath at a time. And let's just seal this practice together with the universal vibration of Om. So you can chant with me. Take a deep breath in. The light in my soul humbly bows down to the light in each one of you. Namaste. Thank you all so much for tuning in and practicing with me today. Hopefully I'll have more videos up soon. Thanks a lot for being with me.